a few more people coming in. So we'll be admitting them as we go, but we'll go ahead and get started with our provider meeting, January 17th. It's the new year already. I'm excited to have our first meeting to kick off the new year. I am Kathy Borders. I am in provider relations here at Butler County. We also have Amy Winkler in provider relations on our call today. She will be manning our chat and helping with questions and things that come up. We encourage you to use that chat box anytime during our meeting today, or also feel free to unmute when there's time for questions, to ask questions you may have. We are always happy to hear from you and answer any questions that you have. If you're not talking, it's helpful if you would stay on mute just to eliminate any background noise. Be very helpful. We will go ahead and get started. I'm just looking really quickly at some of our guests that we're expecting here. We have a few different guests who will be sharing some information with us today. Looks like we are missing a couple of them, but we'll go ahead and kind of skip around and get a few things started. So just wanted to point out a couple of community connection events coming up while we have you here all together. The best place for this information truly is our community connections newsletter that comes out. But just because these events are kind of fun and coming up quickly, just wanted to point them out. The Sweetheart Dance is February 15th, and there's an ice skating party coming up on February 11th. There are details that will be included in our meeting minutes for each of those. There's a flyer for them, so you'll be able to see how to register and things with that. I am just looking for our next guest and our attendees, and I do not see them just yet. So I am gonna skip here over to Beth Reisner from our own Butler County. She is here today to give us an update on Butler County's non-medical transportation needs. So I will turn the time over to you, Beth.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'll try to make this quick and painless. But first, I just want to give a big thank you. As some of you may or may not know, we lost one of our largest transportation providers, and you guys have stepped up in a major way. We started out with almost 144 people that we needed to find new rides for. And as of this morning, I believe we're down to 17 that still need rides. So I'm just encouraging you to, if you've ever considered adding non-medical transportation as a service, to please do so. As we know, it's freezing outside, and we have some folks that are walking to work in this weather. And so if you could just take a look at your schedules, your availability, and check out our provider portal. As of this morning, I went through some of the requests that we need. We have a young lady who resides in Fairfield that needs a ride Monday through Friday to Visionaries and Voices, located on kind of the border of the county. And then we have a young lady who works at Miami University who has some weekend shifts, and she needs rides to and from. She works 7:30 to 4. And then we have a young man who lives in Oxford, and his provider recently gave notice. He attends Goodwill in Fairfield. And then we have a young lady who resides in Fairfield Township, and she needs a ride to Westchester Hospital. She has a set schedule, and she only needs a ride one way. She does have a pickup time of 7 a.m. So I do know that it's a little early, but her family has been a good support system and will be doing the evening shifts. The other thing that I would encourage, if you're an agency provider and you have not yet got a local contract, I would encourage you to do that, because that seems to be where our greatest need is for those that have local funding. So that is all the current updates that I have. If you have any specific questions or needs, I'll drop my email in the chat. But as of right now, that is currently where we stand. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth, for the update. Do we have any questions about that before we move on? All right, awesome. I'm checking to see if we have Sharon Hannon here yet. Oh, hey, Sharon, your name says Shannon. It threw me off. Okay, you are here. So sorry. Thank you for being here. So we will turn the time over to Sharon or Shannon Hannon with the Ohio
Right.
Valley Goodwill, and Anne, if she is here as well, to talk about pig abilities.
Great. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, on this unbelievably cold day. Please stay warm. Thank you so much for having us. I apologize for the confusion. My email at work is first initial, last name, so it becomes Shannon, but my name is Sharon Hannon. I know it's very confusing, but I am the marketing director for Ohio Valley Goodwill, and I'm delighted to join you today to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is pig abilities. And I think we shared a video um, about the event that hopefully you'll get, and a flyer and those kinds of things. But just to summarize, this will be the 8th year that Ohio Valley Goodwill has been the proud title sponsor for the Pig Abilities event. The Pig Abilities event is part of the Flying Pig Marathon weekend every year. It takes place this year on Saturday, May 4th, and it is designed to be a welcoming event for athletes of all abilities, community inclusive, supportive, and celebratory. That's the point of the whole thing. I am delighted to report that because of our collaborations with the county boards last year, that we actually had 800 athletes participating in last year's event. So that was a new record for us, and we were super excited to have that. So we are grateful to everyone, Hamilton County DDS, Butler, DD, Warren County, Claremont DD, and so forth, for helping us to promote the event. Anne, who is our co-presenter, hopefully she'll show up at some point, but she is with Hamilton County DDS, and they are kind enough to host what are called training meetups. And those happen every weekend to help people prepare for the Pig Abilities event. And what it is that we, during Pig Abilities, again on Saturday, May 4th, we complete the final mile of the Flying Pig Marathon. We cross the finish line, and we collect our medals, and we celebrate and so forth. But the training meetups, which take place all the way from February until time for the event, every Sunday from 2 to 3, those are an opportunity for people to meet people they may not already know and form friendships, but also prepare for and train for that event. And Anne and her team do a fabulous job with Queen City Running to scout out the different locations for the meetups, offer different options to folks, quarter mile, half mile, 3/4, or mile. Again, it's all up to their individual preferences. And the whole idea is to promote awareness of the Pig Abilities event, get involved with the event, register for the event, and hopefully participate. So very exciting event. We love it. There's a great video that shares with that. And then I also have to share that this year, for the first time ever, we have established all kinds of new partnerships. One with one of the big title sponsors for the Flying Pig Marathon, Paycor, and then also with the Cincinnati Zoo. And part of the outcome of that new partnership is a new event that's going to be taking place on Saturday, March 9th at 12 noon at the Cincinnati Zoo. And we'll provide more information to you about that. But that's kind of a big media launch to let everyone, the larger community, know about Pig Abilities. Provides a showcase for athletes that are part of the Pig Abilities event to talk about the event and kind of get everyone just jazzed up to be a part of it for this year's celebration. So we're super excited about it, as you can tell, and happy to share any and all information that anyone needs. If you need information right now and you need to look for that, all you do is go to Cincinnati Flying Pig Marathon, or is it Cincinnati? It might be just Flying Pig Marathon, I'm not sure, .com events, and then you'll see Pig Abilities as one of the events. And it gives you all the information you need, registration, all those kinds of things. So, and the other piece to know about it, which a lot of people are not aware of, is it's minimal cost. It's $15 for athletes to participate. And we're fortunate to have a lot of organizations that help to sponsor that cost so that it's actually free for our athletes that choose to participate. But it can also be a fundraising event for different organizations. And the Flying Pig Marathon group, PigWorks, they help to organize all of that and facilitate that. So they would have more information for you on that specific topic. But Kathy, I believe that you have both the video and the handouts about training meetups. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, we do. We will be sending those out today with our meeting minutes.
Okay.
And I believe Anne is now on the call as well.
Oh, great. Good. Okay. And I sort of did a really quick overview and summary. Do you want to go ahead and talk about the meetups?
I need to unmute. Let's see. Well, I did see her. Maybe. Oh, yeah, there she
No,
is.
it says she can't unmute.
Oh, okay. Well, that is unfortunate.
Oh, okay. Well, again, I provided you with an overview of that. I know you have a full agenda, so I don't want to keep you too long, but the meetups start at the end of February 27th. Anna's provided a schedule. They're from 2 to 3. They're at 4 different locations in the greater Cincinnati community. And they're just a fun opportunity to meet new people, talk about exercise, relationships, all that good stuff, and get excited about Pig Abilities 2024.
Awesome. Yes, we are excited. Thank you so much. It does sound so exciting. We will send all those information out for you today.
Okay. Thank
All
you so
right.
much
Well,
for having us.
yes, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. Are there any
Okay, take care.
questions for Anne or Sharon before they head out?
I think hopefully if you see the video, you will see why we're so excited about this event and why it is so worth it for people to participate, because it's really just a celebration of individual achievement and success.
All right, thank you. We
Thank you
will now
again.
yeah, sure. Michelle Truitt is here from Butler County. She is one of our RNs here for the county. So I will turn the time over to her to share with us some updates.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to come on here and bring you guys up to speed on some changes that are going to be happening specific to CPR certification. So currently we are offering and we are continuing to offer free first aid and CPR training to our providers within Butler County. In the past, it's been really awesome and functional. Folks can email me directly and I send them a link to take the training, and then the mandated in-person skills session, we take care of that after the online training is completed. As of the 23rd of January, which is next Tuesday, Red Cross is changing their format for their online training courses. So it's going to look a little bit different. We are no longer going to have access, I should say the instructors are no longer going to have immediate access to the links to email individuals trainings on an ongoing basis. We actually are going to have to apply for the courses. So what that's going to look like moving forward, and what I anticipate in February, is I will run 2 classes a month. I will ask for anybody who's needing the course to still continue to email me to request the course or give me a call. I will add you to the list. And once that 2-week maybe mark is over, I will request the course. Then I will get a link and I will send it out directly to the participants for that course. Then everything else will work the same. So you'll take the online portion and then we will work together to coordinate the skill session. So again, it's going to look a little bit different, but I would encourage all of our providers to just be proactive in keeping track of your certifications, because as it is now, I'm kind of like readily available to send you a link at any moment's notice so that you can take that course. But moving forward, it's not going to be that easy. So I would allow yourself at least a couple of weeks to play it safe, maybe even a month in advance of when you know you're going to expire. Start reaching out to me. I'm sure Kathy will have my contact information in the meeting notes, but start reaching out to me so that we can get the class going. I'm seeing all these messages pop up, so it's just distracting, but Kathy will get you my contact information and we can work together. I usually work a lot with independents, not so much the providers themselves, but I have been able to work together to get that, coordinated as well. The second thing I wanted to mention is that we were fortunate to purchase a wheelchair scale for our agency, which is awesome because, as you all know, it's been very, very hard. Oh, thank you. It's so pretty and very easy to use. So, as most of you know, as a provider, it's very challenging to get many of our individuals weighed, especially if they're in a wheelchair. So we find it very, it's just going to be a great thing to have that access for a scale for our folks. So we would just ask for the providers to schedule your, when you're going to bring your individual in to be weighed, to try to coordinate that with either myself or maybe your SSA so that we can ensure someone's there to take you back to the private area to have the individual weighed. It's for safety purposes that we do require a staff member to be with our providers to take them back into the area to be weighed with the individual. We will also probably have some sort of paper in that room to kind of keep track of who's coming in and coming out, just so we can kind of monitor how much the scale is being used. So again, it's there, it's ready to be used, it's fully functionable. Just try to coordinate a visit with either myself or the SSA. I don't want to keep people from dropping in if you happen to be out and about and you want to pop in to weigh your individual. If you're on your way back from a doctor's appointment or something, that's fine. I just want you to reach out to someone so that we can ensure that we have somebody present in the building to get you back into that area to get that happened. So any questions, you can just reach out to me, but we're excited about that. So that's all I have. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Definitely had some questions about your email. We're going to get that out to you. It's in the chat now as well. Are there any other questions for Michelle while we have her? All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. All right. Our next presenter is Amy Winkler. It's MUI annual analysis time. So she is going to give us a little info about that.
Yeah, thanks, Kathy. Hey, everyone. It's that time of year again. I know last year, if you remember, the date was a little different. I think it was due in July. The reason for that was DODD's incident tracking system was down. They were working on, getting that launched. So last year was a little bit of an off year with that. We're going back to roll. So this year it kind of goes back to the standard. So that MUI annual analysis is always due to the county board by February 28th. So providers are required to complete that by the end of January 31st, and then submit it to us at the end of February. Kathy and I will be sending emails starting next week, and we'll send a total of 3 just as reminders of when that's due and what that is. The email will include a template that you can use, an example of what that looks like to complete it. There's a lot of great and helpful information in that email and attachments that'll be with that too. So feel free to reach out to either of us as you're working your way through that form. If you have any questions, we're always happy to help. any way we can. But I just wanted to kind of send a reminder that's coming up soon. So again, that will be due to the county board by February 28th. Are there any questions on that? I think that's all I have for now. But again, feel free to reach out to Kathy or I if you have any questions once that email goes out. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. All right, we have several updates for you. DODD has been releasing a lot of information. We wanted to make sure that you weren't missing that. A great way to get this information is signing up for the Memo Mondays that go out each Monday from DODD. So we encourage you to do that. However, we do our best to get this information out to you during these provider meetings. So hopefully most of you know that the rates had a really big jump as of January 1st. We're hoping that you have those new rates. We do have rate charts for Butler County available. We will include those in the meeting minutes that have the rate increases on there for both January 1st, and then there is going to be a second increase effective July 1st. So our chart includes both of those increases. So in order to get those increases, providers have to enter the increased rate when you're doing your billing. If you continue to bill at the old rate, that is what you will get paid. So it's really important to remember that, especially if you're billing a big batch at one time, that you remember to put any dates of service after January 1 in those new rates. There are links here available on from the DODD website to be able to get to these rates if you want to look at them yourselves. They're within the appendixes for each of the different service rules. We also have here the link for the overtime rates that were just released a few weeks ago for independent providers. And those two will be in the meeting minutes to be able to get that direct link straight there. As a reminder, any provider doing participant directed services, you need to renegotiate that rate for that service for any services beginning January 1 on. So just a reminder to have that done. Feel free to drop any questions about this as we go in the chat. I'm just going to kind of keep going unless you stop me. Just wanted to remind agencies that their DODD requires agency providers to submit wage and compensation data of their DSPs. This is required by law for DODD to submit this information. And with these big increases in the waiver funding, they are hoping to see DSP wages increasing. That was one of the big reasons for the push in the increases. So the DOD is hoping to see that the average DSP wage will be $18 an hour in the reporting for this year. It's really ultimately though up to each agency and how they pay their DSPs. And so DODD has published a couple of documents that talk about this, that DODD encourages agency providers to share with their DSPs. They really are hoping that agency providers will be as transparent and open and communicative about the wage increases and the rate increases with the DSPs. And so there are two sheets that we will include also in our attachments today. One is for DSPs talking about this increase, and then one is providers. Those are great resources to utilize. Reminders, with it being the first of the year, a couple of things we wanted to point out. DODD has been encouraging providers, all providers, independents, and agencies to make sure that your address is accurate with Ohio Pays. That's where your payments are coming from. They are the entity that will be mailing out your 1099 this month. And so if your address is not correct and the 1099 gets returned, all payments will be stopped for your account. You'll be put in an inactive status and you will not get paid until the address is corrected, updated. So to update that, to verify what your address currently is, you just go to ohiopays.ohio.gov and log in there with the same login that you use with DODD. It's the same login for both. Also a reminder, annually, all DSPs, independent providers, and DOOs must complete annual training. Their DoDD has made it fairly simple. If you use the My Learning platform, you can get all of the required hours that you need for that annual training right there within that portal. They just recently updated the platform, and it's a lot easier to navigate now and find those required trainings. I did just a screenshot this morning of it. I really like this. I feel like it's laid out a little easier to find your particular training. So you would just click on whichever title applies to you, and then it has it broken down into the annual training, the initial training, and then also there is that option if you want to do just 2 hours of the required and then do 6 hours of other training that maybe you as an agency you offer, or as an independent you went to maybe one of our MUI trainings. You can supplement those 6 hours. And so it has it broken down a little more clearer than it used to be about that. Just reminding you. Any questions? I do want to point out you have the whole year, you have the whole 2024 to get this done. It isn't every 12 months, it's once per calendar year. So there's some flexibility built into when it works best with you and your schedule. Something else that we've been seeing a lot more of lately is questions about the DoDD security affidavit notice that you will likely receive at some point. We believe it is an annual update that's being sent out. We don't know exactly the time frame why it's being sent at different times for different providers, but you'll get an email and it looks a little kind of scary. It makes it sound like your account is going to be terminated or closed. But we just encourage you to read through that email and follow the link. They actually put a link within that email if you get this notice, and complete the online form. And it looks like this. Up here is the link that is provided in that email. So you'll just click on that link and it takes you to this page. And you literally just fill out each of these lines and hit next until you get to the end. You can do an electronic signature right here within this form. So it's very easy to do if you just follow the steps, follow the screens. You're welcome to reach out to us, but it's a lot less scary than it at first seems. You also probably have heard and seen lots of communication about the Medicaid revalidation, and that too has been very confusing. And there's been different communication put out even by DoDD about this. So we just wanted to make sure that you were aware, if you are a DoDD provider and you have a current certification, you are either in your initial certification period or you have renewed, that when you do those applications, those renewals, you actually are revalidating your Medicaid. It's recalculated at that time. It's automatically happening by doing those applications, by getting that certification put onto your Medicaid account. So as long as you are active with us, with DoDD, then you do not need to worry about doing a separate revalidation. That is the part that looks confusing. It looks like everyone needs to go into Medicaid and find out where to do this and do that, but you really do not. Any questions about that before I move on? Okay. We wanted to share with you that we recently had some great upgrades made to our Butler County provider portal. So we just wanted to point that out and encourage you to get in and to use that portal. Check it out if you haven't, log in if you haven't. Some of the new features that were just launched are that SSAs can now send emails directly to you, to the applicants, about the status of the application directly from the provider portal. So you will be getting communication about whether your application was, you were selected to provide that RFS, or if you were, there were so many applicants that another provider was chosen. You'll receive that notification. You can also log into the provider account and look at the status of your RFS by looking at those that you have applied to, and you can see the status of that application there. So that's a really great way to kind of keep up with what's happening with those. You can also go in and personalize your profile. You can add a logo or a photo. It's really fun when I come across some that have. I love seeing the photos that are in there. So thank you to those that have done that. You can provide additional details about yourself within your own profile. You can put additional contact information, especially if you're an agency, you can list hours or link your website. So we just encourage you to do that. It just helps you stand out a little bit because we are seeing a great increase in the number of providers using the portal and applying for the different service requests. Let's see, while you're in there, we also ask that you verify your address, phone number, and whether your services listed are correct. We ask that you do that each year. So it's a great time with it being January to log in and check that out for us. And then just reach out to Amy or I if there is a correction that needs made and you're not able to do it within your features. I was going to show you just a screenshot of this that I was talking about. So when you log in, you'll see over here is your profile. And then when you click on that, this then is the screen that you will see. Here, edit provider organization details is where you can go in and add some details there. There's also a section here that's circled in red, supplemental details. It has some questions that you can answer and provide information about yourself or your agency. And then over here on the side, on the right, is this picture. So by clicking on the little pencil or crayon, that's where you can upload a photo, either an agency logo or if you're an independent, an actual photo of yourself. So pretty easy to do. We're always happy to help you if you're not able to figure it out, but just wanted to show you those nice features. This I also wanted to show you is an example of the email you might receive if your application for a particular service request was not chosen. This is the email you'll receive. And so if you get this, we just encourage you to continue applying for other requests. And then this is an example of the email that you would receive if you were chosen for that particular need. It will have the SSA's contact information listed there so that then you can reach out by email to start setting up working. I've been talking a lot. Are there any questions? I'll pause for a second. Okay. All right, since we're talking about updates, I just wanted to share with you some exciting news that the SWOCOG, the Southwestern Council of Governments, has just launched their new website. And what's really great about it is that they have dedicated a large section of their website to provider resources. And so have put the links there for you so that you can see. I actually have a quick little video, if we can get it to work, to show you. This is what their website looks like. So you can actually see after going to their site, it has this right here is mainly for independent providers, but there's different help guides and links to rules. There's some additional documents and things that you can get to. So a lot of helpful links all in one place. If you have questions, there's a frequently asked questions section. So very excited to have this resource now available to you. There is also a compliance section that you can go to by clicking services. If you have a compliance review coming up or have questions about compliance related issues, you can go there for that. So encourage you to use that great new resource, and we'll have that in the meeting minutes so you can get to that easily. DoD is continuing their certification team office hours. Just wanted to point out a couple of exciting things coming up here in January with this. One of them is tomorrow for independent providers. They're going to be going over the DoD P&M systems, specifically how to do applications. So if that's been something that you want to know more about or have an application coming up that you need to do, even adding a service to your certification, for independents, that will be tomorrow. And then next week on January 25th will be for agency providers. So there are links there to register for each of those great webinars. The DSP and provider support team at DoD also has monthly sessions. They sometimes will announce their topics, but just know that they're always meeting, whether or not you hear of the topic or not. You just jump on. You don't need to register. You can just jump on the link, which I will include in the meeting minutes, the second Wednesday of each month from 9 to 10. And that's open to any providers and DSPs. Just yesterday afternoon, DODD announced a new grant opportunity for agency providers. It's very exciting. I think that it was $5 million they are looking to grant out to applicants. So the purpose of this grant is to implement workforce-related projects to support DSPs. So this could include projects to reduce isolation, providing DSP-specific supports, enhancing recruitment and retention efforts, or offering opportunities for professional development. So the application is not quite live. They are projecting that to be open in early February. There is going to be a webinar for information about the grant, and the details they say will come out next week during the Memo Monday. So you'll want to pay attention to that if you're interested in learning more about this grant or even applying. It's exciting. Ending now, there's a few training opportunities we wanted to make sure you're aware of. The compliance office at DODD has, looks like, quarterly trainings. The first one of the 2024 is coming up on the 25th of January. It will be about the compliance review process. The link there to register, again, will be in the meeting minutes. And then next quarter will be shared living, and then background checks and personal funds will be in October. So very great topics to get training on. We too are continuing our MUI UI training series. Our next one is coming up on March 13th. We'd love to see you there. We will be talking about the MUI process and have question and answer session. So feel free to register. We'd love to see you. There is a resilience-based de-escalation training in person we wanted to make sure you're aware of. It's actually being held at our Butler County office on April 12th. It is designed for anyone working with youth with complex needs and developmental differences. You will want to register for that in-person training, all-day training. There is also another in-person training we learned about. It's a prevention plan training, April 24th. This one, the closest, they're holding multiple of these, but the closest one for us is in Hamilton County at the Hamilton County DDS office. And the purpose of these trainings is to learn to identify the root causes that led to an incident occurring and how to develop a well-defined, effective, realistic prevention plan. So that would be a great training as well. That's 10 to 12 on the 24th of April. I believe that is it. That's all of our announcements, updates, trainings. Just wanted to get you the dates for the remaining Butler County provider meetings this year. We'll keep them on Zoom. It's been working really well, meeting from 10 to 11 on these dates. So open it up for any questions that you have, questions, comments.
I have a question I want to ask.
Yeah.
On the provider portal website, it's very nice portal, but when we search, there's no option we can put like a zip code. We have to click individual. Is it possible we can create some search functionality? So some provider looking for some area close to their zip code, so we can filter by zip code, or we can filter by HPC only. That possible? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It's something we can look into, create something we hadn't thought about. So thanks for that information.
The other question I want to ask is, our agency served some individual provider before, and then they work under our agency. We help them to do all the billing, all this payroll, audit, all the work. Recently, some people tell me, hey, we heard about if we go to the independent, it's not under agency, we don't need to pay tax. I confuse this information. So tax exempt. Is this true? I understand every people work in this country will have to pay tax. So I'm not for sure how I can explain to them. I just want to ask.
Yeah, so what they're referring to is they, as an independent provider, they are independent contractors. So they are issued a 1099, so there is no tax withheld, but they are told to consult with a tax professional because they perhaps will have tax due. It's just not being withheld at the time of their payment.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Well, we really appreciate everyone being here today. It's good to see all of you. We look forward to seeing you either at our MUI training or our next provider meeting in March. I hope you stay warm, and we'll see you soon.